Hello everyone, welcome to my photo gallery presentation. My name is Alaizja Hunter and I'm looking forward to the semester with you. So the word that I chose as an adjective to describe me was altruistic. Let's get into the presentation. Here is just the breakdown of syllables in the word and how to pronounce it. And then here is an illustration of what it means to be an altruist. You can look at the quote here where it says, "We rise by lifting others." And what I took from this picture was that there is strength in numbers and supporting one another and in unity. I believe that this is how we will grow and thrive as a society by just remembering to put other people ahead of ourselves. And here is the definition of altruistic in the Webster Dictionary. It says, showing a selfless concern for the well-being of others without care for one's own interests. Other words, just being unselfish. It's showing kindness, choosing kindness. And here is just a little collage that I put together, just like, cute little pictures that I found that it could kind of represent my personality and the reason that I chose this word. I'm a very bubbly person and I just love to laugh and make others smile. Giving is my love language, which brings me to one of my favorite quotes. It's a scripture. It's taken from Acts chapter 20, verse 25. There is more happiness in giving than there is in receiving. And this word also connects with me as an educator specifically because I believe that teaching is a work of heart. I believe that being an educator also means being an altruist. It's my way to give to the community, to the children in my care, and hopefully help to build a stronger nation, since education is power and our children are the future. This brings me to my 3 chosen dispositions. The first is professional responsibility. And so, I will demonstrate professional responsibility by meeting professional expectations and obligations to all stakeholders. In other words, I have a professional responsibility to my students, their parents and families, my colleagues, campus leadership, myself, and my community in general. As an educator, I know that my career is about more than just me. My second disposition is learning. I will demonstrate my commitment to learning by showing an openness and willingness to learn. Disposition 3 is diversity. I will demonstrate my commitment to diversity by showing adaptability in professional practice for individual differences. And here's just a really beautiful picture that I saw, and I was just like, wow. I think that this perfectly illustrates diversity. You see the flowers of various colors, shapes, sizes, types, but together they create such a lovely bouquet. And the fact that they are spilling from a typewriter has another meaning to me that I took from it, which was that we each have our own story. And though we are all different, together we all write the next chapter for the future. Which brings me to the whys of my chosen dispositions. So, why did I choose professional responsibility? Well, I believe that professional responsibility encompasses all dispositions outlined in the COE, and that all necessary attributes of an educator stem from this commitment. I believe that professional responsibility is the core of great teaching, and really any career dealing with the care of others. Professional responsibility is really juggling all five attributes outlined in the COE at once, which is why I have a picture here of someone juggling. So I just wanted to further elaborate on this. I believe that it is my professional obligation to have integrity, honesty, to be devoted to learning, to adapt to diversity, and also embrace collegiality. So my other two dispositions were learning and diversity. So I'm just going to go ahead and elaborate on the two that I chose. So why learning? Well, I believe that the first responsibility of an educator is the willingness to be taught, to be a student themselves, and that their first role is to be a lifelong learner. And this is a never ending process. I believe that there is an equal exchange of learning within the classroom between teacher and student. The more I know as a teacher, the more my students will know. A willingness to learn means being observative of the students in my classroom and their needs, their interests, things that are on their mind and things that concern them. Which brings me to embracing diversity. I think that was a perfect segue into why I chose diversity. I believe that embracing diversity means caring for the whole child. It means viewing students as individuals with numerous differences, backgrounds, and emotional and cognitive development levels. And here I have a picture on what I mean by that. It's really more than just race and ethnicity differences, but every child will be on a journey of self-discovery, whether they're in primary education or secondary education. Um, they will have different levels of emotional and cognitive stability. Some will come to school with depression, some will come angry, some will be anxious. There could be a lot of things going on at home that they'll bring with them to school. And then there's also learning and physical disabilities to consider. So it is my professional obligation to be aware of these needs and adapt. So that concludes the first part of my presentation regarding my dispositions. And now I'll get into a little bit about me. Let's see. So 4 things about me. Well, the first is that I am a bookworm, an avid reader. One of my favorite hobbies is to just sit up, snuggled up with a good book, with a glass of matcha, spending hours of my life in a new world. And I hope to open a bookstore cafe one day. And here is just a collage of kind of my inspiration. I want kind of a cozy, rustic aesthetic, some flowers, warm lighting, a nice dining area for studying and just relaxing. I could talk about this forever, but I'll just get on to the next slide, which is, besides reading books, I also write them. I indulge in poetry writing, songwriting, really just creating worlds of my own, specifically in the nonfiction epic fantasy genre. I'm also dabbling into mystery writing, thriller, science fiction, and publishing would be a dream for me. And the pictures that are, kind of there in the background are just kind of a collage of my personality or aesthetic, my personal taste. And here are a couple more. When I'm on Pinterest, I find these and it just gives me inspiration to just keep going and to just keep writing. And my second to last thing about me is that I love food, family, and friends. Like, this is like the key to my happiness right here, besides books, simple food, family, and friends. I'm a foodie. I love trying new restaurants and cafes, and just spending time with family and laughing and just trying to enjoy and cherish those little moments. Here is a collage, a few pictures I found of me and my family that I wanted to share. All right, and the last thing about me is that I just want to travel and just see the world and beyond. Since I don't get to travel much now, most of my traveling is done in books, or in my own writing, creating worlds of my own. So I just hope to just see the real world, and see what's out there, get to know, new cultures and explore and maybe even get more inspiration for my own writing. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time and for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I know that I've enjoyed watching some of y'all's presentations. So yeah, let's have a good semester.